Hey everyone, welcome back to Eyes on the Ball. This is episode 13. Got the number right this time. Can't not believe, honestly, I got it wrong last time. It was kind of dumb. But I do want to excuse my voice. I know I am kind of like maybe like super deep right now. Pause. Um, I am kind of sick, and yeah. But man, I just came back from hooping last night. It was extremely fun, man. Just hooping when we're actually playing well is like a different feeling. Like when you're playing buns and it's like everything is like disappointing and just shitty overall. Like it's just so ass because it doesn't feel fun at all. Like you feel like you're doing shit. But being on the court and actually scoring, actually playing defense, making shit work, winning and losing, and getting used to the competition, stuff like that. Adapting on the court, like that shit is just it's just my love for basketball is back. Like you lose too much, it just goes away a little bit sometimes. But you never give up. You keep on playing. And like shit gets better. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. The NBA season starts in officially 2 days. Today's Sunday right now. I'm gonna try to get this video up on the same day. If not this morning, probably tonight. I would like to get it up before at least like Monday in the afternoon. Just cause it would be a lot better for this to make sense. Cause as you can tell by the title of the video, this is kind of a seeding hierarchy prediction. I didn't want to do like an exact seeding or like win loss record because I think it would have been just like it's like really precise. It's really I think you need a lot more research than what I did. I didn't do too honestly. I didn't do too much research, but I did do some like a little bit, just to kind of like prove my predictions and not prove them, but give me evidence for my predictions. But yeah, it was I feel like if you're gonna do like an exact win loss record and exact seeding, I think it's honestly kind of pointless too from like a certain sense because it's literally just you trying to predict the record, except like I guess there's like fun in trying to predict the exact number for sure, like wins and losses or whatever. But from a seeding point, I think it's just like it's never gonna actually be right most of the time. Like I think like there's obvious like for this example in the Western Conference, I think there's like an obvious number one seed, but like 2 to 8, I mean 2 to fucking 15, or it's like you never know, especially in the West, right? But in the East as well, like I think everybody who has a prediction for the East would have some sort of like this like a similar 1 to maybe not 1 to 8 because the East is open for grabs, but not really. It kind of is, it kind of isn't. I'll talk about that more later. But the East, I think people would have like a similar like 1 to 8 kind of like who makes the playoffs, who makes the play in. Like I think people have like a similar kind of what's it called, like a similar kind of ranking for that. But yeah, so I just didn't do that, especially because like again like but the West last season, I'm 100% sure nobody had seeds what 3 to fucking 10 or 3 to 9 being having the same exact fucking record, except being apart, like being away from like 1 or 2 games, right? Like so. I mean, so I don't know. That's why to me win loss, like it's cool. I think over and unders, maybe as a fucking as a dude who gambles, maybe that's why I find it more intriguing. But I think over unders certain wins is a lot more kind of interesting to talk about more than just like the actual wins and losses. But yeah, so again, this is like a seeding hierarchy. So essentially, we have the teams that can get a chip, so like contenders for champions. Then you have the playoff makers. You have the play-in question mark, and then we have the tankers / hopefully next season. I didn't want to say every like losing team was a tanking team, because I don't know. Like if I was a GM for a team, and like my team was just ass as fuck, and somebody was just like, oh, like they're tanking. like to soften the blow, I would be kind of annoyed, like my team is just ass. There's no, we're not tanking, bro. We're just ass. So that's why I put hopefully next season. But yeah, obviously I have one for the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. I have some notes down for it as well. I hope the mic is not picking up these pages flapping too loud. But yeah, I do have some notes for. I have a lot more notes for the West and the East. I'm low key like, I'm not gonna lie, I am kind of biased with the West. I'm not gonna lie, I won't lie, but I also don't have too many notes for the teams at the bottom because I feel like I don't watch. Not only one do I not watch them too much, but I also don't. I don't want to give off like the wrong impression and kind of say that what's it called, that that I know about the team. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that, and I don't want to talk about the teams too much. And I can also say that there's not much to talk about them when it comes to that. When it comes to um like seating hierarchies, but I think there are. There's a lot to talk about for every single team. Every single fan is always gonna have a lot to talk about with that team, and that is what makes fandom special. But without further ado, let's start it. All right, we're gonna start with the Eastern Conference first. Now we're going from bottom to top, because I think it's easier that way for me. But anyways, we have the Wizards. I think the Wizards are a very interesting team. I feel like they have a lot of ball handlers. They have a lot of young guards. But they just don't have a solid lineup, in my opinion. But they are very, very young. Like that team is like in the rebuilding process, just like other teams in the East as well, which is cool. Like you want to see that. They had Marcus Smart, but then he got traded to the Lakers. So it's not a lot of vets on that team right now. I think they have Chris Middleton, who's a champion. So that's a very great vet to have. But the rest are just young guys. You have Bub Carrington. You have Trey Johnson, who was drafted this year, who I'm very excited to watch. I think that's gonna be a very good player to watch. I think he's just gonna be like a super saucy kind of guy. Super swaggy on the court. He kind of reminds me of like a Jordan Clarkson kind of dude, but I feel like it's gonna be less about like current Jordan Clarkson more than like like an earlier Jordan Clarkson, like more focused on scoring and trying to help the team, and with playmaking as well, and not just only be like a scorer kind of guy, like a scoring microwave off the bench. Yeah, I think Trey Johnson's gonna be really good. Again, Alex Sarr, who is a very great shot blocker. Has a very good frame to kind of guard the 1 to 5. Be very agile and be a good lateral defender, lateral mover. I think he's gonna be on the offensive side. I think it's a little, he'll work on it. He's still young. I think he's only like what 20, 21. So he's gonna be a decent center in the future. I think so. But obviously, you would love to see him be kind of a 1B kind of guy, because he has a frame. He has like an exact kind of play style as 1B, but he's just a little bit shorter. I don't think he has a high motor like 1B, because I think that's what separates the other 7-footers or 7+ footers. Is like 1B's motor is just fucking insane. Like he just moves without. He is too active, right? He's just way too active. But again, Alex Sarr really has a good. He's pretty quick. He's pretty agile. I think he could be a pretty decent shot, if not like a very good center on both sides of the floor. I think he'll continue to be a very great defender and a very great shot blocker. A paint beast kind of guy. My next team are the Nets. I think the Nets are going to be a very interesting team. another interesting team where it's like, again, like, even though they have um they had like 5 draft picks during the draft. They drafted all 5 guys that they chose. They still have Cam Thomas, but they also have and they have Dayron Sharp, but they also ended up getting Michael Porter Jr. And during the preseason, they have some really good games, especially Michael Porter Jr. I think he had the last preseason game, which was on Friday. He had like 34 or something like that, which is nuts. Maybe he's actually back from his injury, which would be kind of good for him, because again, like I think he's a very tough player to guard. Like a 7-footer who can shoot the way he does. He's supposed to be the next KD, and he still kind of moves in that way. Thankfully now that his injuries are kind of like healed up to what it is. Are MPJ and Cam Thomas good vets to have on a team full of like a starting 5 full of rookies? I don't know, because they could be good. I think they can teach them confidence, believing in themselves or whatever. Learning how to score at all times. Just put the ball in the basket. The game is about a bucket, so MPJ and Cam Thomas are really great scorers. Are they efficient? Cam Thomas, but again, I think they're gonna be good for what that rookie lineup is gonna be. But the rookie lineup itself is something you don't know if it's gonna work really well. I don't know too much about them, so I don't want to again speak on them like I know them. Only player that I'm aware of that may not turn out to be the best is Igor. I think people were kind of complaining about his motor, which is something that I've heard a lot of fans talk about, or at least other analysts talk about. Like his motor's just not that great. He might be too slow for the NBA, but again, like you never know. There are other players who are slow in the NBA and they still have a pretty big impact. Like my goat, Zacharias Edey. But yeah, that's the Nets. Then my next team is the Heat. I mean, I just don't see the Heat really doing anything at all. Again, they do have Norman Powell. They do have Bam. They do have Tyler Hero. And I think Tyler Hero is very underrated. But I just don't see them making maybe they could. I think this team, I had a bit of trouble with the play-in and tankers / hopefully next season part of the hierarchy for the Eastern Conference, because there's another team in this step or this level that I think can also make the play in. But I think that the East is so top heavy, and especially again like now, like even with the Celtics and the Pacers being out, which are like I would say the two best teams in the East, including the Cavs. I don't want to say two best teams, but more so the teams that made it, the teams in the East that made it to the playoffs, the deepest into the playoffs. Other than what the fuck? Oh my god, I'm blanking out. Who the hell did the Pacers play? They played the Bucks, the Cavs, the Knicks. So yeah, the Knicks. So other than the Knicks, there were like two teams that made it to the deepest in the playoffs, right? And again, two teams that are very much playoff experience. They've been to the finals, right? So them being kind of out is a kind of again widens who can make it out the East. But even then, I think those teams are so But I'll continue that later. But anyways. Sorry, excuse me. The Heat again. I think they could. I don't want to say it's not possible. I think Hero is a durable guy. Bam is a durable guy. Powell is a durable guy. Health matters a lot when it comes to making it to the playoffs as well. And I think they have the talent to make it to the play-in. But I just don't know. I don't know, honestly. That's like a weird team to me to kind of predict who or where they'll go. I think one thing that I kept on hearing, and ESPN reported it, was that they want to target Jokic or Giannis, those type of guys, come free agency, because I think free agency is like next year, or their contract expires next year, so they want to get them in free agency, which would be kind of cool for the team. Would it happen? Probably not. I can't imagine it happening, but that's a plan that they have. But yeah, I think the Heat, again, they could make it to the play-in. They couldn't. They could, just tank. Yeah, next team are the Hornets. From what I recall, anytime LaMelo had a team that was healthy, they made it to the play-in, or they're like at least a top 10 team, which is cool, right? Because a lot of that team ends up getting injured. Like last year, LaMelo was injured, Miller was injured. I think Burgess was injured for some time too. I don't remember correct. 100%. Trey Man was injured. This right now they seemed that they definitely are healthy. They have it's pretty much the same team, but they have, I think, they do have a rookie. I forgot his name, and I don't want to like butcher it because I know it's like a weird name. I forgot he's like a center. We played them, I think, on Wednesday. And they fucking dogged the shit out of us. 145 to like 110 or something like that. He lost by like 30. But that center that they have, the rookie center they have, is very strong, very good rebounding five. So I think that team, again, that team has the talent to be a play-in team. It's just a health kind of thing. Like, especially again, like LaMelo is such a great player. Like he is such a, like, he may not be efficient, but from a point, rebound, assist kind of standpoint, he's always gonna put up great numbers. He's always gonna be elite as a scorer because of the fact that he can shoot. Like it might not be very efficient, but he can go on tangents where he's just like, just letting the flamethrower go, and his release is so damn fast too. It makes it harder to kind of predict or guard it. And again, he's a great ball handler, the great playmaker. He's a good head of the snake, and it's just a matter of injuries and health. But yeah, for the Hornets, again, they could be a team that goes to the play-in. I'm not saying, I don't think, if Trent follows, they could make it to the play-in for sure. But I do have them as tankers right now. And then this team is another team that I kind of had trouble with. The Raps. I don't know. A part of me wanted to put them in the play-in because I think Brandon Ingram, Scotty Barnes, RJ Barrett. They have wings who are all versatile, and they added another wing who's very versatile. The rookie CMB, forgot his full name, and so I think that's going to be a very interesting, again, a very intriguing team to watch from a wing perspective. They also have Eotb, who's a great center. It's just, is it enough to get them in the play-in? Who knows? It was hard for me to decide for them because I think a team with Brandon Ingram, a healthy Brandon Ingram, a team with a healthy Scotty Barnes, a team with a healthy Pirtle, RJ Barrett, in the East like this, like, I don't know. I think it makes sense that they could make it to the play-in. I didn't know if they could. I didn't know if it was something that they truly could do. I kind of have faith in them a little bit, not gonna lie, but I'm not sure. Now this is the second to last tier, so we're going up. I have the play-in tier, right? So first team are the Bulls. I think the Bulls, they've proven to be kind of like that mediocre team every single season. But now they have Matas Buzelis, who seems to be taking a very good leap, a very much needed leap. He seems to be kind of like a fringe. Well, I don't want to say fringe all-star off preseason games, but he definitely seems to be growing into his body, learning how to score the ball, being a better defender. He has a great frame to be a defender, great motor to be a like a guard to guard 1 to 3 kind of going even maybe 1 to 4 a guard the 1 to 4. He's a very good shot blocker as well, very good rim protector. I think he's gonna be. I got stock in him, to be honest. I think he's gonna be great. Not only is he great at the game, but he's also a highlight merchant. So the aura, he passes the aura test. But yeah, I'm excited to watch him hoop more. But I think the Bulls are gonna they're going up. They're going up in my opinion. Like again, last season they didn't make it to the playoffs. But I think again, like they'll be in the play in this season, and I think they could make it. I think they could be the eighth seed. I think they could have a playoff berth. Um, they could be an eighth seed. 100%. I could genuinely see them being the eighth seed. Now, do they make moves for Vucevic still? Because Vucevic has always been on the chopping block. I don't know. I think I think you have to move on Vucevic if you want to get better. Like, like he may not be the best, but you use him. You have to use him as an asset, right? You have to either upgrade at the 5 or maybe just upgrade at the 5. Right? You just need to upgrade at the 5 because you have Giddy, you have Kobe White, you got Buzelis, P. Will, who may not be the best player to be honest, but I think having that core 3 of Buzelis, Giddy, and Kobe White, like they've proven themselves to be very great players, and again, I think they could be easily. I think they're easily a playing team, but I could definitely also see them being the eighth seed, locking up that eighth seed in the player. Next team is the Pacers. Yes, they don't have Halliburton. Yes, they don't have their star player, but I think the team is good enough to where I think everybody knows that team, even though like it's not like a top heavy team, so Halliburton being out from a theoretical standpoint, kind of last season again, like everybody was like the Pacers are so good without Halliburton, and I think that there's truth in that. I think there is truth in that for sure. Again, obviously, Halliburton as a as a floor raiser and ceiling raiser is like insane because of what he can do, as the kind of like the I almost want to say like the artist of that team. Just being able to whip the ball up, back and forth, and make the right passes all the time. Just control the defense with his eyes, right? Because of how great of a playmaker he is, how great of a passer he is. Modern Steve Nash kind of shit. But yeah, I think without Halliburton, I don't think that team is going to be as good. But the team is still good no matter what. Because again, the offense when that team is not, the offense for that team will work, and will still be effective when Hallie is off, because it's an overall team kind of offense, right? Like it's not like everybody. It's not like one dude controlling the offense. It's just this one dude who can very much elevate the offense because of his talents. But again, the offense that the team runs with is just it's an overall team one, right? I think it's gonna be some getting used to. One, I also do think it's not gonna be too effective because again, they are missing their head of the snake, and a lot of the players that they're kind of gonna look forward to in order in terms of like the kind of like I guess like the number one option kind of guy. I think people saw some reports saying that they're gonna look at Mathurin to be that next guy, the guy who steps up. And, Mathurin isn't necessarily Mathurin is like the needle in the haystack kind of player for that team because he's like a stopper. He's not a player who's always gonna be. He's kind of like the Kuminga of that team to an extent, except there's like a with Mathurin, I think he understands how he has to fit into the system, but I think Mathurin being who he is, being such a great foul baiter basically, being good on the ISO, being good on for like the three, like as a 3 level scorer. I think him being that, even though he's not really efficient or consistent sometimes, but him having the talent to do that is what kind of allows him to play in his play style, kind of like off, disconnected from the rest of the team. So I think, with Matthew, I think this season is going to be really big for him to kind of learn how to meld himself into the play style of the Pacers while also still being good at what he does. And again, that's gonna take a while too, because again, like that's just gonna be a hard thing to do. But I think if that works out really well, I think next season when Sally comes back, it's gonna be insane what that team could do on the offensive side. Again, they still have Nemhard. They did lose Miles Turner and they got Jay Huff in return. Is that really is it a lateral move? Fuck no. Is it a good move? It's the Miles Turner mini in my opinion. Jay Huff is not a great defender. He's a good shot blocker, but that's about it. But I think in the offense, like, he's gonna fit perfectly just because of what he can do. He's very, very fast, very agile, extremely athletic. I saw a fucking clip of him doing some stupid shit. Like, dude, I saw a clip of him fucking, like, he went up for a dunk, but instead of going up for the dunk, he was at the 360 shit, right? But instead of doing a 360, he did like a fucking 180 and dunked it behind. It was a poster. Like, he posted somebody behind. Like, what the fuck? You don't see that shit anywhere. Right? You just don't see that shit anywhere. But he did it, and it said I was fucking stupid as fuck. But yeah, he's a very athletic dude, uber athletic dude. And I think the Pacers are gonna be good. I think they're gonna be good enough to make it to the play-in. Now, do I see them going to the playoffs, moving up to the playoffs? I don't know. I think they're gonna be like it's gonna be like a like a 7-8 kind of situation. I think where like they're gonna go. I think if they're in like the 9-10, then they're gonna go. They're gonna I think they'll make it to 9, but then whoever they play from the 7th, 8, I think they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. I don't know. I don't see them making the playoffs, but I see them being in the play-in. Can they make the playoffs still? Probably, because again, Rick Carlisle is an amazing coach. That team is still very talented, but I don't know. We'll see. This might be a doozy, because you could definitely replace. And this is where it got hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. This is where it got hard for me. The Bucks in the play-in. Now, is this something that's controversial? Maybe. I think Giannis himself is a player who can very easily carry a team to playoff contention and be a playoff. They could go to the next level because again, Giannis is just like realistically, I think like top 4 players in the league. I think even though Luka is amazing, and I'm not saying he's not top, like he's not 3, but I think when it comes to like if I'm that top 4 players, like so Giannis, Jokic, Shea, Luka, I think there's 2 players on that team where they impede their play onto the game so much that they can change any team. Like and by when I mean change any team, I mean they can completely 180 just like any impact any like expectation on the team and just completely change the team. And I think it's Shea and Giannis. Again, I'm not saying Jokic can't do it. I'm not saying Luka can't do it. But I think Shea and Giannis being such, again, like it comes from their ability to score, right? They can score on whoever. It doesn't fucking matter. Nobody can stop them. You can't stop those two, right? Like you can try to suffocate them. Again, this can go for Jokic too, but I think it's like With Jokic, it's like it's less about like you're not gonna see Jokic go for 60 points, for like 40 points, 50 points. Like if he goes for it, he's always gonna have like some points, so some assists as well, because he's more like of an overall like facilitator, um, like kind of hub kind of guy, right? But Giannis and Shea, like they're gonna impede their will on any single team in the league, and I think that changes the team, right? And so like again with Giannis, it's just like he's gonna score no matter what. They're not gonna stop him. You just need like if you're a teammate, you just fucking shoot the ball, shoot the three ball when he's open, when you're open, because you're gonna be open because Giannis is just Giannis's gravity in the paint is just extremely um magnetizing. Like any defender is gonna try to stop him, and he's gonna make the pass. You just have to make the shot, or at least just fucking be okay with taking a shot. Just quick drawing that bitch. And again, they have shooters. They have Gary Trent Jr. We saw what he did in the playoffs. Even though he choked a little bit against the Pacers, but again, he was still great. KPJ. They have Ryan Holland, who's a great underrated guard, who's gonna be very good as a defender as well. Because of his sorry, because of his wingspan. They also have AJ Young, who's a very good shooter. I think he recently got an extension as well. So again, I think they're gonna be a team that does make it to the like their minimum play-in. Again, they could be a playoff team. I just think it's like when you look at the playoff teams, it's like, and again, this is why it's hard for me, because I feel like, again, even the team after this, it's like it's hard for me to have here in play-in. But then again, like you look at the playoff, you look at the other teams in the league in the East, and it's like, shit. Let me see real quick. Okay, you still got time. This might be a longer episode than I thought. Sheesh, because the Eastern Conference, I don't have too much to say, but I'm still yapping. Anyways, yeah, the Bucks again. They could be a playoff team, but it's just I don't know. 76ers is my next team. Now, yes, this is hard for me to put there too. Again, it's hard and not hard at the same time with them, because it's like if Embiid isn't playing, they're not making it. They're just not making it. Because again, he's another player. He is. I think he's like if you include like top five when like if you're including health, and you make that top five list, like Embiid is top five, and I think he is also one of those type of players like Giannis or Shea, where it's like they impede their will right on the team, on any team. And again, Embiid is that guy. Embiid is as a scorer is fucking insane. I was surprised to see him play in the preseason. Actually, I didn't think he was gonna play, but he did, and that was fucking awesome. Like if you're a fan of the 76ers and you see that, like that's fucking huge. That's big, man. Like that's I mean, if I saw a job play in the preseason after they said that he had like the little ankle sprain or whatever, at least one game before season starts, I would have been fucking geeked. Are you shitting me? Are you fucking shitting me? That like completely rejuvenates my expectations for the team. But my shit went down, especially after yesterday's news, and I'll get back to that later when we go to the Western Conference. But yeah, the 76ers. Again, VJ Edgecombe is gonna be great. Tyrese Maxey is going to be great. They're both Tyrese is healthy, but it's amazing. I think that duo is going to be a very elite guard duo. To be honest, they're going to be very hard to stop. I think Tyrese Maxey being a 3-level scorer, VJ Edgecombe being an underrated playmaker. He's a very good passer. He has very good eyes. To like you can see at least in the first preseason game. You can see that he was very much trying to make passes more than score. Just use his kind of athleticism and gravity, his rim pressure to kind of like make right passes, and that's huge. You want to see that if you seeing that in your guard, your young guard, the rookie you just drafted is fucking awesome. That's great processing from him that I'm very excited to see. Again, we all know how good Tyrese Maxey is. Embiid coming back again is huge. That's awesome for that team. Paul George, we still don't know when he's gonna come back. I'd honestly be surprised if they kept Paul George if they're looking to win this season. I'd be surprised if they kept Paul George even next season. I think you move on from him. I think it's just like is just not. I don't know. I think even when you add him to the team, I honestly don't think like would he and change the team that much. I think he will a little bit, but I don't know. I don't know. I think they have Kelly Oubre, who's I think honestly an underrated defender. He is a good 3-point shooter. I think he can be a kind of a streaky 3-point shooter that can definitely change the tide sometimes. And then they have another center. I forgot his name, but I have so much stock into him, and I fucking hate that I forgot his name. But he is he is a very athletic, bigger kind of 5. He's extremely good at shot blocking. He has a very high vertical. He reminds me of Clint Capella a little bit, like prime Clint Capella. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's like Bona or something like that. Let me see. I think it is Bona. Yeah, a Bona. But I have so much. I saw one preseason game and I'm locked in with him. He's fucking insane, and I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm gonna watch 76ers game because of him, because he seems fucking awesome. I fucking love him. Like he's like, again, like he chases those rebounds. He uses his muscle. He jumps extremely fucking high. He does not give up on making defensive plays. I think he's gonna be great. Extremely good backup for Embiid. Yeah, just extremely good player. I got a lot of stock in him. Not gonna lie. But yeah, so that's the end of those last 2 seeds. Now we're in playoff makers. We have first up. We have the Magic. Again, obviously, they made it to the playoffs last time after being in the play-in, but they added Desmond Bane and Jace Richardson to kind of alleviate their 3-point shooting. They have a good starting 5. Bane helps again with their shooting problems. They had a negative 4.1 relative 3-point shooting percentage, which means that basically relative to the entire league shooting percentage, the average of that shooting percentage, the 3-point shooting percentage, they had a negative 4.1 percent deficit, which means that they fucking sucked. Like they were horrible at shooting the 3. I think they were that's one of the worst shooting teams since the tanking 2010 Grizzlies is what I saw from the video of an analysis video that I got it from, which is from D-Lee3. I think it's D-Lee43. Big shout out to him. He posted amazing content, and if you love in-depth analysis videos, you gotta check him out on TikTok or Instagram. Again, he makes a very in-depth, great videos. But yeah, again, adding Desmond Bane does not fix that by himself, though. By himself, it just won't. I think adding with Jace Richardson, because I think Jace Richardson is going to be a very good starting point guard, or just point guard in general. I think he's going to be better than Tyus Jones, and I think that they should put him instead of Tyus Jones. He just knows how to move. He knows how to position himself really well. He can shoot the ball. He is very good at he seems to be a very good passer, very elite, not elite playmaker, but he's definitely will grow into that stage for sure. I think that Magic are going to be really, really good. Again, they have great defenders. Getting Desmond Bane again is definitely going to help that team. I think again, he's not going to fix it, and I don't think he's going to be the 3-point shooter that they want him to be, only because I know for sure Paolo and Franz are going to be players where they're going to have the ball in their hand most of the time, right? But the Grizzlies, it's Desmond Bane had a good amount of usage. I think he had similar numbers to Ja. I think he had a 20. It was definitely above 20%, right? Which is he's not gonna get that on Magic. He's just not, right? So I think they're gonna turn him to a spot up shooter, or allow him to be a secondary play, not a secondary, a tertiary. That's how you pronounce it. Ball handler, because again, most of the time the ball's gonna be in Paolo and Franz's hand. So again, I think from a certain standpoint, Bane's gonna look better on the Magic because there's gonna be less responsibility on his hands. But he has to be willing to shoot the ball more, which is something that he didn't really do too much on the Grizzlies, and it's one of the reasons why it stopped working out. Because again, Bane off ball, like his like second, third year, is what we wanted as for our backcourt. Is he gonna revert to that with the Magic? Who knows? But I think if he does turn into that, he's gonna be a lot more effective. And yeah, I think again they made it to the playoffs last year. It just doesn't. They again that starting five is like 10 times better because of Desmond Bane. Are they gonna be like are they contenders? I don't think so yet. They just I think until Paolo realizes he's like 6'10", almost 300 pounds of muscle. Like he has to take better shots. He has to be a better decision maker. He doesn't have to fucking develop a 3-point jump shot or anything like that. I think he has to develop a jump shot, but he doesn't have to become a better 3-point shooter. Or and Franz too. He doesn't have to either. I think they just have to be able to be better at what they do, and Paulo has to become a better decision maker to be able to take the next step. The Celtics is my next team. I know no Tatum, horrible. They lost Al Horford to the Warriors, Luke Cornett, and so to an extent, if you wanted to replace this team with one of the teams in the play-in, for example, the Bucks or the 76ers, I would not be mad at that at all. I think I had again. This is one of the teams that was like kind of hard for me to put because I do think they could be great. I think they're going to be good regardless because Jaylen Brown, and then you have Payton Pritchard. I think the team overall, like their 1-5, is just amazing. Like they have a very, very, very good lineup. They all can still play the 5 out because again they're all great shooters. I think it's just and that's why I have them in the playoff. But I don't think they're gonna make it past the second round. I think I just have a lot of faith in Jaylen Brown to be able to make that team be good enough to make it to the playoffs, to win enough games in the regular season to be good in the playoffs, or not be in the playoffs but make it to the playoffs, like guaranteed. But again, this is a team that you can switch out with one of the teams in the bottom for sure, 100%. I would not. Well, maybe like the Bucks or the 76ers. I don't think they can. I think the Celtics finish above the Bulls and the Pacers, in my opinion. I think they just do. I think, in my opinion, at least. But I don't know. 100%. And then my next team for playoff makers are the Pistons. Again, they made the playoffs last season. I think they're gonna make it. They're gonna make it again this season. I think Cade is a top 5 point guard. Him and Duran have an extremely good connection as a guard to center kind of play duo. Again, Duran is an incredible lob catcher, incredible lob threat. Cade is a very good lob thrower and good playmaker overall. Cade is extremely efficient. ISO scorer is another thing too. Has a relative true percentage of 1%. And he also has on average 21 potential assists, which kind of just adds up to how great of a playmaker he is. Again, great youth with good vet guys. And again, like I think they're gonna be really, really good. They have that they have their own characteristic on the defensive side. Asar Thompson, again, one of the better defenders in the league. I think he's a better defender than the men, to be honest. Ron Holland has learned to kind of be a little bit, at least from the preseason, like he's seen that taking a scoring leap for sure. We know he's a good defender anyways. Saucer as well. It seems to be kind of good as well. But yeah, I think that team is going to be really, really good. Again, now they have Jaden Ivey, which is something that they really needed. They needed a secondary ball handling threat. During the playoffs, they did not have that. So with Jaden Ivey, I think it's going to be a very, very, very good team this season for sure. And I think the Pistons and Magic are definitely playoff makers. I think the Celtics is the one that you can kind of you can substitute with one in the play-in for sure. Yeah, so now we're on the playoff winners slash chip contenders. So essentially, who I think can actually make it to the Eastern Conference Finals slash get the chip. So number one, I have Cavs, of course. I think, you know, I think they're kind of like a lim. They're kind of like I think they're kind of like the Celtics in a way, where it's like, they're gonna make it to the playoffs every single time, and they're gonna be very experienced come playoff time because they've been there so many times. It's just a matter of like, a little bit of luck, a little bit of team cohesion. Because again, last season, I mean, like again, Pacers were a great team still, but they didn't have DeAndre Hunter. I think Evan Mobley was still injured to an extent for some of the games. Garland was injured too, and Garland is a very impactful player to that team's offense, so coming into this season, I think it's going to be a very different, especially now they have Lonzo, who's a very good defender and a very great point guard as well. I think again that the offensive rating for that team last season was 121, which is the highest offensive rating of any team in the league. And again, adding Lonzo to that, I think it's going to keep it at that regardless. That team is going to be great. I know that they do have DeAndre Hunter starting now, which is cool. That team did have also a top 10 defensive rating, but they had a 5+ swing from the regular starting five. So meaning, I think it was Garland, Mobley, D. Mitch. I think it was what's his name? Shrews, and then I forgot the starting five. Basically, from their starting five, when Evan Mobley was off, there's a 5+ swing from the defense, which is like not exactly the best, but it basically puts them at an average defense, right? The average, I think, is average league defense. But again, Lonzo, huge pickup, and DeAndre Hunter again looks very, very good this season. I think he had some pretty good preseason outings. So, and again, like it's exciting to see what he's gonna do. It's just, I think again, like a lot of it was like, again, like last season, a lot of it was injuries. Again, like if Darius Garland isn't injured, if DeAndre Hunter wasn't injured, I think you don't know what could have happened during that Pacers series. But again, I think one thing overall about that team that I always hear, and that I don't know if it's gonna be fixed. I don't know what's gonna happen with it. Blah blah blah. But every single season is always like Evan Mobley can be a 2-way player, right? Like, and trust Evan Mobley with the ball more. It's been like that every single season. At what point are we just like, okay, maybe we don't give him the ball, or maybe he isn't at the 2-way player that people think they are, right? Or you can kind of think again, like maybe D. Mitch prioritizes his usage so much that he doesn't give Mobley the ball that much. But again, I think it's like they had to take the regular season to be able to allow Mobley to learn how to become a ball handling / offensive threat instead of relying in the playoffs. Because again, like during the regular season, it was just again D. Mitch and Garland, so it's hard to kind of imagine or kind of push Mobley into that spot when he barely didn't do too much of it. Now again, it doesn't mean he can't, because he has shown outings of him being a good offensive threat, and he will be a great offensive threat. I think they just have to work on that. They have to work on it during the regular season. That come playoff time, Evan Mobley is prepared. D. Mitch entrust the ball to him, and Garland, again, just being the playmaking savant that he is, continues to be who he is. Now, my next team are the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to be a great team. Again, they added Mike Brown, coach. They have a way better bench this time, with Jordan Clarkson and Yazbule. Again, those are great pickups. The only thing is they had Malcolm Brogdon, but now Brogdon is like fucking, he retired out of nowhere, which is insane. Because like he was like, I think he was like he had like a finalized spot on the team. Like he was definitely gonna play for the team. So that was kind of a crazy retirement, but it was very much out of nowhere, which is weird as fuck. But again, yes, the team is gonna look a lot different this season compared to the last few seasons. I think again they have the talent to be very, very good regardless. I think they have. They will definitely make it to the playoffs. They will definitely make it. I think I can see them going to the Eastern Conference Finals again, but I think it's gonna take some getting used to in the regular season. I think the regular season they might not have the best record, but I think come playoff time that team is gonna be very, very, very good. Again, it's gonna be new getting used to this. I think an offense that shares the ball a lot more, but I think it will work for sure. Again, they're all of that starting five is just, they're very high IQ players. I think Cat is probably gonna be a more of like a hub, like how he used to be. Damn, like how he used to be on the Timberwolves. Which means the ball plays through him a little bit more. So I'm excited to see how that's gonna go. I think that's gonna be really, really good for that team, and I think that it's gonna be great overall. Again, adding Clarkson, Yazbule are just a huge pickups, like a huge pickups, like extremely fucking good pickups. They finally have a good bench, and that's what that team needs, especially now that Thibs was fired and they have a coach who's gonna, give some more minutes to the bench guys. I think Tyler Kolek, I think that's his name. The dude they have coming off the bench, the young guard, he's gonna be kind of pretty important too, in my opinion. I think I would definitely look out for him. Come regular season, come to like not 6 man of the year combos, but I think he's gonna be a really, I think he's gonna be like a pretty important 6 man. To be honest, my last team for the Eastern Conference Finals before we move on to the West are the Hawks. I think the Hawks are going to be a very honestly, I have them as a dark horse. I think they could make it to. I think they could get that chip. I think they could. If not this season, maybe next season. But I can see them being, a team that make it very deep in the playoffs. Again, Trae Young is a proven guard who has done his thing in the Eastern Conference Finals. They added Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who's a very great defender, very smart IQ player on the offensive side as well. Decent, very good shooter. He's a net positive player. Like he's not gonna make bad plays. I think they have a very good starting five. They have very good playmaking wings with Jalen Johnson and Ricochet. Ricochet being like a fucking, again, I think I said it before, but he's like a fucking 6'10" Klay Thompson. He seems great. I think he's kind of becoming a better rim protector, which is amazing as well, because you want him to be able to protect the wing. Again, he has the body to guard the 1-4, or maybe not 1-4, but like 2-4, I would say, because he's not the fastest, but he definitely again has the body to be able to, with his wingspan, to be able to be decent. Again, Jalen Johnson is honestly the next LeBron in my opinion. I think he's the LeBron junior of the league. Honestly, like you see the pictures of them working together too. I think Jalen Johnson is a very, I don't want to say underrated player because I think everybody calls him underrated, but I think he is a player that's honestly going to be like extremely. He's an extremely good player. Yeah, he's an extremely good player. Triple-double monster. Has very good playmaking ability. Has a good vision. Can make the great passes. He can be a bruiser in the paint. He has a very good athleticism. He's just an extremely good player. Very good scorer. But not only that, they added KP, who's again he's an absolute fucking ceiling raiser of hell. Like I mean, you add in a lanky, athletic 5 who can shoot the ball, who has won the championship. You know what I mean? Like, that's awesome. That's a really good pickup. That team has a ton of playoff experience, and I think the team is gonna be really good this year. They have the other, I don't know how to fucking say his name. I forgot, but the Onyeka dude from the Hawks. Let me see if I can find his name real quick. Onyeka Okongwu, that dude. Um, they have Luke Kennard too, but no, Luke Kennard is whatever. We good off Luke Kennard, even though he's a great, like, one of the best, statistically one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. But yeah, I think the Hawks are going to be a very sleeper team, and now they have off-ball trade, which I think, again, which is gonna be a very good, because of the fact they have the playmaking wings. I think having Trey be more off-ball is gonna be, again, it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna be great. The team is, again, my sleeper team for the East. But now, the Western Conference. This is what took me a little bit longer, to be honest. I have a lot more notes for this team, which is hilarious because the episode is going to be kind of long. I think we're almost on an hour, which is crazy. It's kind of crazy. So I guess I'll try to speed through this one because I don't want this episode to be too long. But yeah, starting from the bottom. Number one, Pelicans. I think, honestly, putting them here kind of hurts because I do think that team will be decent. They will be good. Again, Zion Williamson, when healthy, is like one of the most unstoppable players in the league. Like, you cannot stop him. They also have Jordan Poole, who seems to be like great now, according to preseason stats at least. You know, back to his I don't want to say back to Warriors form, but like he's definitely scoring the ball at a much more efficient rate. He's being a lot more connected with the ball in his hand. You know, making better passes. They have Evs Messi Evs, who I think is going to be very, very, very good. He's an extremely good shot blocker. I think adding that Poole to him connection as a lob threat is going to be very interesting too. Also, Jeremiah Fears, who I think is a very underrated guard in this draft class as well. He's fucking great. He's extremely fucking fast. Handles the ball extremely well. Has very good rim pressure and good playmaking ability. And again, I think he's going to be good with EVs as well. But again, I think it's just a health thing with them, right? Pelicans, who was it? Dyson Daniels made fun of... I can't believe I forgot Dyson Daniels in the Hawks thing too, but, you know, again, that's another part of the Hawks, you know? But Dyson Daniels was memeing about, you know, the Pelicans water or whatever being, like, horrible, that he was happy he got out of there. So, I don't know, again, like, it's all a health kind of thing. Like, if Zion stays healthy, then this team could be a playing team, in my opinion. But just, you know, it's just, you don't know. Next team is the Jazz. Again, the Jazz is another team that I'm kind of like, I don't think that, I think that's definitely a bottom team, but they're gonna be really fun this year, in my opinion. I think they're gonna be like a good league pass team with Ace Bailey, Mr. Ice Bryce Sensible, who else? Isaiah Collier is a good point guard, good playmaking guard. Obviously they still have Laurie and Walker, so I think that's gonna be like a very underrated. I think it's gonna be a hard team to go against for sure. And they have, Hornets have Sexton, but no. Anyways, that starting five, I think that team is gonna be one of those teams where it's like we don't want to like. It's gonna be they're not gonna be good. They're definitely gonna be tough still. They're gonna be a tough team no matter what. But yeah, I think that team's gonna be really very interesting. Ace Bailey seems to have proven all the haters wrong, but it's awesome. You want to see him win for sure. You want to see him be good. He's very great off the ball. Minimizing dribbles, and that's what he's been excelling at so far in the league, and so that's awesome. Again, Ice Bryce Sensabaugh, one of the best fucking mid-range shooting prospects in the league. That dude has a fucking flamethrower. That dude does not stop shooting the fucking rock. If he sees any space, he's letting that bitch fly. And that's what you want, honestly. You love to see that shit. That man looks fucking awesome. So, yeah, I think that team's gonna be pretty good. Honestly, I think are they a playing team this season? No, but I think they could be like that 11 seed kind of team where it's like they're creeping up to that 10 seed that play in, but they're just not there yet. They're one of the teams that are like I would look at them and be like, hopefully next season, because I think again that next season that team could be kind of a threat. I'm not gonna lie, if things don't change or whatever they add like certain assets. My next team after that are the Suns. So the Suns were 100 percentile in ISOs, but they also scored the most in points per possession, or they scored the most in points per possession in the ISO. Obviously, adding Jalen Green will continue that kind of reign of being in that percentile of ISOs, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be successful, right? They're not going to be a great team just spamming ISOs. I think Devin Booker, we 100% that we're 100,000% see Devin Booker being great or putting up insane stat lines like he used to be. I think I saw the first preseason game. He looked fucking stupid nutty. So like it looked crazy because I feel like I haven't seen Devin Booker move like that since before the KD trade. Like he was moving like he low key has such a high motor for his play style, and I think that's one of the things that like makes him stand out. Like he's just super fucking quick. He's extremely fucking quick, and that's something that you want to see him do more of, right? Like again, he looked great this preseason. It'll definitely carry into the regular season. I think he's gonna be very, 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 very good as an individual player. But I think honestly, I don't think that team makes it past the that bottom like 11 to 15 kind of ranking. Low key, he would be like an amazing like fantasy pickup though, like that. But he might average like 50 fantasy points a week. Not gonna lie. But anyways, yeah. The Suns, they do have an I don't even know, like, is that you kind of just look at that lineup and it's just like mid. They have the one censor model watch who I think is gonna be really good. But that's really it. Like, Dylan Brooks is gonna be okay. Again, obviously he's a tough dude. He changed the scenery. Jalen Green is gonna be, again, I think Jalen Green being under Devin Booker's kind of like what's it called? Being under his wing is gonna be kind of cool because I think he can learn a lot from Devin Booker. Minimizing dribbles and kind of making the more efficient plays, being more optimal with his dribbling. But again, Jalen Green has something that Devin Booker doesn't have, which is his extremely, extremely insane athleticism and verticality. So again, I think they're gonna be a fun team to watch for sure, but I just don't think they're gonna be a good team. The Kings, I mean, I don't even know what to say. I think it's so funny because I think like that their lineup has good names, right? Like DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Sabonis. And they added Russell Westbrook recently. They signed Keegan Murray to an extension. So it's like, like they have good names in that roster, but it's like they're such low impact players where it's like, what is gonna happen? You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. Honestly, I don't think that team is gonna be good at all. They might be the worst team in the West come next season. I think getting Russ was cool, but it doesn't really change anything. Honestly, it's just cool. It's cool to have Russ be back in the league because he was a free agent for a while. But I don't have much to say about that team. Honestly, I'm not I'm not looking at that team and scared of them at all. Whatever. Um, yeah. Next team is the Blazers, and the Blazers are gonna be. Like, I think they're gonna be the same thing as last year, basically. A team that, kind of like what I think the Jazz is gonna be this year. They're a team that they're not gonna be the greatest, but it's a team that you don't want to really play against because they're gonna fuck you up defensively. They were very good defensively last year. Having Denny Avia, he's a great. Fucking hell! I'm so sorry. He's a great PRA kind of guy. Obviously having one of the better defenders in the league, Tumani Kamara, is a reason why that defense is so goddamn great. They did pick up Jan Hassan, who people are kind of like looking at the next Jokic. I don't think so, but I think he's gonna be decent. Obviously Klinnigan as well is like one of the reasons why their defense is so good. He's one of the best rim disruptors in the league. Like, he's just an extremely good rim protective guy. He just is a great shot blocker overall. The dude is just an animal under the rim. And you watch him play too, and like you can see it too. Like he really is such an active kind of guy. Like, he's always using his hand. He's always moving. He's always looking for the next guy to look at or next guy to guard. He's always looking at the ball. Always trying to again be a force under the rim, and that's something that you love seeing. But yeah, I don't see them making the leap to be a team that can be considered like a play-in or play-off kind of team. But I do think that team, they have talent. They have a lot of good talent for sure. But yeah, the next tier play-in team. Now, this first one might be crazy, and I think if you want to replace them with one of the playoff maker teams, you could. But again, I want everybody to fucking know. Apart from the first two picks, and honestly the third one too. Like, so essentially my 1 to 3 seed, even though it's not actually 1 to 3, and it's more so just like the teams that I think are like that will guaranteed be in that like top 3. Like, from 4 to like 10, 4 to 8 is like, it can be anybody's fucking game. Right? Again, so I think these kind of teams are all interchangeable, but I think this is where I categorize them and what I think they'll be at. But again, I think they're all interchangeable for sure. But again, play-in team. As the Lakers. I think the Lakers are a very, 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 very good team. Obviously, they have Luka now. Luka looks a lot better. He lost some weight, so he's gonna be a lot more effective in the just in general. He's gonna be a lot faster, more agile. You saw in the preseason games, he seems to be going back to like he's settling less on threes, and he's taking his step backs more. He's getting to the rim a lot better. And it's something again that you want to see that, because that's the Luka that's the good Luka, right? Like, that's the Luka that opens up a lot more possibilities for his guys as well, because he's adding rim pressure to his game again, and he opens it up for his teammates. So I don't think this again. I have him in the play-in because I don't think this season is a season that you look at and you think this is a playoff chasing season. Like, again, obviously Braun wants to win. That's why they added they added Ayton, they added Marcus Smart, they added Jake LaRavia. They added those 3 guys who are like, they might not be super high impact. I think Ayton is going to be pretty impactful. I mean, he's going to be pretty important to that team no matter what. But, those are guys that, they definitely are players that you look at and you're like, you want them to be you want them to make the impact that they need to make. And again, I think they were pretty good pickups. Honestly, I think they will pan out to be good for the team, but they don't change the team fully. I think again, Aiden is the most important player that they have. But again, it's just like um again, like they could be good because again they still have Luca. Luca is an extremely high kind of ceiling, or not a ceiling raiser, but floor raiser. Again, like, and that's why I have them. That's why I think they could be a playoff making team. Like they won't even be in the play in. But again, it's, especially LeBron gonna be out for the last until like supposedly till mid-November too. So like, a lot of this responsibility is gonna be on Luca. And Austin Reeves is gonna have to learn how to be a second option instead of being like a third option. When LeBron and AD were playing, he was a third option most of the time. So now he's gonna have to be a second option. The Batman and Robin. And so you got to see how that goes too. Again, I think again they're still gonna be good. I just don't see them being one of those teams where it's like they're guaranteed, in that top six. You know what I mean? Like they're not gonna be in the play-in. I think they will be in the play-in. Next team are my Grizzlies. Again, this could be a team that could be in a tanking spot, and I think, especially after yesterday's news, they could be. But again, it's like, very important thing from that team. So a stat that I found, and that I was aware of before as well, but it's just kind of crazy looking at it too. Out of all the lineups in the league to play a minimum of 200 minutes, they had the highest plus minus in the league, both overall and both average, per game kind of thing. Now, Bane was in that lineup. He is gone now, but his swing was way less impactful compared to when Edie was on the lineup and off the lineup. So realistically, a lot of it is Edie being on the team because of what he does for the team, what he does as a rim protector, as a guy who can just impose his will on the rebounding side of the game. He's one of the greatest, one of the better screeners in the league already, and he's only a rookie. He's gonna learn. I think again, like this. Obviously, he's gonna miss some time, which does suck. We don't know when he's coming back, but once he comes back, I think again, now that we have Coach Ishalo, who's not a fucking dumbass like our previous coach, who for some reason we drafted a fucking one of the best screeners in the league, and we're like, all right, we're not gonna use it as a screener. You know what I mean? Now you have a coach who's going to play to our players' strengths. Again, I think it's going to be a lot better this season. Again, I think overall, as a team, I do agree that I think we are a better team overall. I've watched most of the preseason games. I think we we only won one. We blew the Heat out by 30 at the end, which is cool. But I think defensively, we do seem to be nice. Well, I don't want to say we're nice, because we gave up a lot of points to each team, but I think there are individual defenders on that team who I think will be great come regular season, when our lineups are more developed and we have our actual players, and we have actual good rotations. Against Cedric Howard does not seem to be the offensive guy we thought he was going to be. Not to say that he's going to be, that we had him like averaging 10, 12 points, but he's not really shooting the ball great as well. But his form is like elite. His form is better. So I think it's a matter of time before it starts falling. But it should definitely start falling soon, hopefully. Vince and Gigi are kind of guys where it's like, I don't see them. I'd be surprised if they both are still on the team come next season. I think probably, it makes more sense to keep Gigi over Vince because Gigi is younger. But I kind of like Vince over Gigi more because I think Vince does a lot more for the team overall. Like, at least he plays defense. He's going to pass the ball. Gigi had some good. Gigi, I think in not the Heat game, but the game before. Or maybe it was a Heat game, but like he came in and scored like 10 points in like 8 minutes or some bullshit, which is fucking insane. Because like he wasn't doing that before. So it was just crazy. I guess he was like locked in after hearing everybody. Like his contract was on the line, I think. Contract was on the line with that game, so he needed to lock in. Again, obviously we have. I think Omax is a very good player for us. I think he's gonna be extremely good for us, honestly, and I like him more than Vincent GG already. He's very athletic. Um, he fits with the system that we have right now more than the other two players because he knows his role. He doesn't have to develop. His game aligns more with what we want him to be, and he just has to develop his game instead of developing into the role that he wants him to be, like Vincent Gigi. But on against the Hornets game, I think Ty Jerome got injured. We don't know what it is yet. We still don't know what it is yet. Can I get a Shams bomb already? No Shams bomb, so we don't know. What's going on? Which sinks. You don't know what is going on yet. Hopefully it's nothing crazy. But in my mind, I already have him going out for like at least 2 months, which sucks. But whatever. And then, just yesterday, Scottie Pippen Jr. toe surgery, and he's gonna be gone for like at least 3 months, I think. 12 weeks, 3 months. Is it Ja or is it just an organization? Is Ja really injury prone or is it the organization? Who knows? Right? I think I don't. There had like statistically we had to have be one of the most injured teams in the past 6 seasons. Not only that, but I would love to see like a stat for like an impact stat, like showing what kind of like swing our team would be in overall, like during the seasons, if the players that we have that were injured were like not injured. Like I would love to see the changes in impact out of that. I would just love to, cause only us. But let me continue on because I don't only want to talk about the Grizzlies. But yeah. My next team are the Mavericks. I have the Mavericks. Again, a lot of it is more health, but they have a great starting five. Injuries holding them back for sure, but they could be a really good team. Regardless, again, a lot of it varies. A lot of it is more so can Kyrie come back sooner or not? Like I think, it depends on what time Kyrie comes back. Obviously, they still have good players regardless. They have Brandon Williams. They have obviously the number one pick at the draft, some fucking hell, Cooper Flag. They have AD, who has to wear goggles for the rest of his life, or the rest of his life on the basketball court. Klay Thompson. And so, yeah, I think that team is going to be good regardless. They're built really, really well. It's just, again, health. And so that's why I have them playing. They could be a playoff team, but I don't know. I think it just depends. It really just depends, again, on health, in my opinion. I don't have too much to say about them. I think defensively that team is going to be really, really good. I do like what they're doing with Coop, and they're kind of making him kind of be like, Jason Kidd is kind of making him be kind of malleable, like kind of being a guard, but also being a like a wing. And that's really cool. Like kind of developing him into like widening his game out more, because I think it works really well because Cooper is just a very high IQ player, and he can move his body like a guard, like a big guard. So that's super fucking cool. I think defensively, I think he's one of the most defensive ready guys to come to the league. I think he's gonna be great defensively. Honestly, him and AD are gonna be fucking crazy. I just hope he doesn't like think about putting AD like on some pedestal. Like like you're the number one draft. In the season, you know what I mean? Like I feel like they should attend to him more, and like they gotta focus on his game, instead of like kind of supporting another player. If that makes sense in my opinion. But yeah, my next team are the Spurs. I think the Spurs, obviously Wemby is a MVP caliber player already, in my opinion. I think if he stays healthy, I think the stats he's gonna put up are gonna be so crazy that I think they're gonna like not even look at the Spurs seeding, no matter where they finish, and they're gonna give him the MVP anyways, because he's going to be putting up stupid fucking numbers, like 2K numbers. He just will. I think like 25, 12, 7, 2 steals, 4 blocks kind of fucking numbers, which is crazy. But I think Wemby can do it. Only thing is they stink without Wemby, and the defense stinks without Wemby regardless. The defense in general, even with Wemby, stinks. There's a 3-point defensive swing in normal starting lineup with Wemby on and off. Meaning Wemby doesn't change the defensive lineup or the defensive rating that much. Meaning that the overall defense sucks. Obviously Wemby does carry that defense, and him being an extremely good and like one of the best rim protector in the league, probably the best defender in the league, helps. But a team sucks without Wemby, right? Defensively, for sure. Now, obviously, again, they have, I think Stephon Castle looks great so far in the preseason. Obviously, they have De'Aaron Fox as well. They also have Dylan Harper, who seems to be really good. People have a lot of trust in him to be really, really good. I think they call it like a Cade Cunningham disciple, which is hilarious. But I think, again, he's going to be good. But people have him, like, people are, like, very excited about him. I think they should be, honestly. You know, it's a second round, or first round, second pick in the draft. Very great guard, you know, like he seems to like be a net positive kind of player. He knows how to pass the ball. Good defender. So again, like that team is going to be very talented. But again, I think it's an injury thing, right? It's an injury thing. I think the last 3 teams that I've just talked about, the Spurs, Mavs, Grizzlies, are all like non-injuries away from being players that I would like, or being teams that I would look at and be like, you know, like I would replace these teams with the playoff teams if these 3 teams can stay healthy. But yeah. Now we move on. Playoff makers. The Rockets. Now, I don't have them in chip contenders. Why? Because Fred, he was that impactful toward the offense. Now, I do have them in playoff makers because they're making the fucking playoffs no matter what. You do not have a team of Amen Thompson, Şengün, Jabari Smith, KD, and not make the playoffs. They just will. They will. Especially with a coach like Ime Udoka, with the depth that they have with Tari Eason. I guess that's the only depth they have that I can think of in my mind. You know, they have Aaron Holiday. They have Clint Capella. I'm fucking bugging. You know, they got good guys coming off the bench there. And obviously Reed Shepherd, who's probably going to be the starting point guard. Who knows? Even though he's been really good in the preseason as well. Like, he's shown to be he's very, very good with his hands, which is one thing. Which is, like, allows him to, like, he may not be very good defensively guarding, like, you know, bigger players, but he's going to be very, very good at guarding other guards because he's going to be very handsy. He's probably going to play a lot of the passing lanes. It's kind of like a Shea kind of guy when it comes to, like, being in the pocket more. Like, you know, using his hands well to find the ball and pick the ball out. And again, like, he seems to be a very good scorer so far as well. Obviously, they also have Steven Adams. I forgot Steven Adams, one of the best fucking, like, plus-minus swing guys in the league. Yeah, the team is going to be very, very good. It's just, again, without a guard without a good shooter, like, they have, like, 2 good shooters there. Jabari Smith seems to be going into that position because Jabari Smith does look amazing. Well, they have one proven shooter, which is KD, right? They have one proven perimeter guy, which is KD. Reed Shepherd, again, has shown to be that, but we got to see it in the regular season too, more often than not. And Jabari Smith Jr. seems to be a lot better as well, which is nice. They're a young team with great vets, of course, of KD. They had a top 5 defensive rating of 109.3, which is like an 11-point differentiation from the team under them. I think it was the Warriors, actually. So yeah, again, they're going to be great. They're going to be great. I think, do they make a trade for a guard? I don't know. They just signed KD actually to, excuse me, sorry, they just signed KD to a 2-year extension. He took a pay cut too, which is kind of cool. I, so I think he took a pay cut. I think it's supposed to be like 2 years and 120, which is fucking crazy. But he took 2 years 90. So again, they're gonna be a great team no matter what. They're gonna be awesome. I just don't think they make it. So they don't get a chip again unless they make a move, or Reed Shepard genuinely plays like he did in the preseason games. Because then at that point I'd be like, alright, you know, like fuck it, they're chip contenders for sure. um, my next team are the Clippers. That's the team. Um, I think they are a very good defensive team. They finished with a top five defensive rating of 103.9, just like the Rockets. They're a lot more physical compared to a lot of other teams in the league, which is like very, very good. And it makes sense because they have such good wing defenders. They have great wing defenders. I think honestly, if Kawhi stays healthy earlier on, then that's a lot better for that team. I think you want Kawhi to stay healthy. Obviously, that's another thing. But even with Kawhi off, I think they're still going to be a good team, and they're going to be in playoff makers no matter what. But I think Kawhi is a difference between putting them above into the playoff winners / contenders to an extent. Maybe even not. I think they still are playoff makers with Kawhi being healthy. But I think they do have obviously have a higher chance of making it, of damn, of getting the chip. But yeah, that's what I think. With them, I think adding John Collins is great. Again, like that's a stretch big. They have Chris Paul, they have Bradley Beal. It's just like that's like. They're a great team, They on paper they're a really very, very good team, A lot of playoff experience too. I think Beal being in this spot as well, like he's another big three, But I don't know. I think Beal learning how to be more off ball is what you want. Because I think Harden and Kawhi are going to be like the guys that have the ball in their hand most of the time. Either that or Chris Paul. Chris Paul might actually be the one who has the ball in his hand most of the time. But I don't know if he's a starting point guard. I think he might come off the bench. So I don't know. But they have a lot of talent on that team. A lot of talent on that team. I'd be surprised if they're a play-in team. They're definitely, I think, in my opinion, a playoff team. But again, they're all experienced too. They all can score. They're all good, high IQ players. They're all great defenders. Obviously, they have Derrick Jones Jr. is a very good defender as well, very lanky defender. I think he's like the only defender who could like hold Shea to like way below his averages too, which is fucking nuts. But yeah, I think again that team's gonna be very good. My next team are the Timberwolves. They really didn't do too much to the team. Nothing really changed. They lost Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and they added the Noah Berenger dude, who's gonna be really good. I think he's gonna be again like I think he's honestly gonna be having Rudy Gobert be your mentor when your archetype is Rudy Gobert but more athletic is fucking insane. Like that's awesome as shit. I'm very happy for him honestly because I think he's gonna be really good. He's gonna be really good under Rudy Gobert. He's gonna be really, really good. One thing about him that I saw that blew my mind and kind of again is a reason why I think might become better than Rudy Gobert. And if he does become better than Rudy Gobert, it's because of his fucking motor. I saw the preseason game. No, not even summer league game. This fucking dude blocked a shot, or like disrupted a shot, and ran from his side of the rim of the court to the other side of the court in mere seconds, and like was able to like either score the ball as they passed them or some shit like that. And it's like you don't see bigs doing that at all. So the fact that he was willing to do that one and actually get there in time and score the ball was crazy. Like, like that's very high motor shit, and that's awesome. Um, that's awesome. I'm very much excited to watch him develop. I think he's gonna be a very, very, very good player. Um, Now I just hope they give him minutes. But we know how Chris Finch feels in minutes. That he likes playing Conley over Rob Dillingham more, and that was something that I think you fix in the regular season. You give Rob Dillingham more minutes in the regular season, instead of Mike Conley. That's something that could have helped him a lot in the playoffs. But obviously again, Timberwolves have Anthony Edwards, who is a star player that gets better every single season. Literally every single season has gotten better and better and better at something, which is awesome. I think this season he focused more on his mid range, but he also kind of got better with his passing. And so I think that he was focusing on. I think he said that he is trying to be better as a post scorer. I think he's had the shit about with Michael Jordan and Kobe. Is that they use their back more on the post up instead of putting their butt on the post up, which is interesting. So I guess we'll see Ant be doing that shit. The only thing is I hope he doesn't obsess over it, because I think as a mid range shooter in his sophomore year he wasn't bad at all, or at least from what I remember. I don't know what the stats say. But he was a kind of mid 3-point shooter, and then he became an extremely good 3-point shooter and a very horrible mid range shooter. So I hope it doesn't I hope there isn't an obsession thing where it's all right, my mid range is gonna be fucking elite. My 3-point is fucking ass now. I'm hoping that's not it. But yeah. Yeah, obviously I think they're gonna make the playoffs for sure. They the team that went back to back Western Conference Finals. I think they easily make the playoffs again for sure. They just will. I just don't think they're chip contenders just yet. I think and I think a lot of it is again they need a guard who can apply rim pressure and be able to control the offense, because I think having Ant do that is not what you want. Ant being able to do that is good. But you shouldn't force Ant to be doing that, because that's not what you want from Ant. You want Ant to be what Ant is good at, right? Being a shooting guard, right? Being able to put the ball in the hoop, being able to score from the three, being able to score really in small amounts of shot clock time. You want him to not have to be the one who controls the offense, because that kind of, even though he can do it, it's not what you want, because he excels more at the other stuff. Right, you need a guard who's gonna open the paint a lot more, open the offense a lot more, widen the variety of ways to score a lot more. That's how you added Julius Randle, because he's a point forward. He's able to score in his own ways of one, but also be able to score, be able to kind of attract his teammates more. But again, he's not. I don't want to say he's not the best at doing it. But there comes a point where you need a guard who can do it. You need a trustworthy guard who can do it, right? And so yeah, and it's very interesting too, because it just surprised the hell out of me. But they have a higher net rating when Mike Conley is off. You know what I mean? And that's really interesting too, because honestly, I was expecting the offensive rating to be a lot higher when Mike Conley was on, because I think the offense runs a lot smoother when Mike Conley's on. I think the problem is that Mike Conley's old. My mans cannot stay on the court for that long, or at least be effective on the court for that many minutes, right? You need Dillingham or another guard to be able. They have Bones Highland as well. They just need another guard who can apply rim pressure, right? And I think and open up the offense for the team. And I think if they work on that this season, then I think they could move up the ranks. Our next team are the Warriors. Squad again. They have a 5-man out lineup with a shit ton of experience. A team of Stephen Curry, what he can do. Stephen Curry as a Magic Man is just insane. right? I think they're gonna be a very, very, very extremely good um team. I think they're gonna be one of those teams. I think where it's like they might, they could honestly go to the play-in, but I think it's gonna be like a situation where it's like it's less about with them. I think it's like more so just about being in the playoff race than being like a guaranteed playoff spot. And the only reason I say that is because I think Stephen Curry is one of those guys on the offensive side where it's like you genuinely have to pray that he misses a shot because there's nothing you can do to stop him in terms of like disrupting his shot. Like not only that, but now you gave him his Robin with Jimmy Butler, but now you have a starting five who can his starting center who can shoot too, who can shoot the shit out the rock, first of all, right? And then you added D'Anthony Melton, you added Kuminga re-signed, they added another player too. I forgot who it was, but you know like those are all good guys, and you know Pod's coming off the bench. He's honestly an underrated player. So yeah, I think they're gonna be a really really good team, despite their age. I don't think they're gonna be tired of shit at all. I think you know all of those guys are like players who you know they might be a little bit um yes they're a little bit older, but they're not players who are people who are like you know fatigued, right? Like they're gonna be great no matter what. And again, obviously you know your playoff riser and Jimmy Butler too, right? You know like again, and that's why I do think it's like again it's less about playoff seeding for them and more so about just being in the race because I think once they're in the race they know it's a marathon, it's not a race kind of thing. Um yeah, that's my playoff maker team. My next my next level, the last level, are the chip contenders. Damn, this is long episode. I'm so sorry. Last two teams. Could you fucking guess it? I don't even think you. I think it's very much easy. I'll say both of them because obviously, you know, it's obvious, right? It's OKC and Denver. Now with OKC, they have one of the most historic defenses ever. They had a negative 3% points difference relative to the league, which is insane. They had they were top 3 in blocks, number 1 in defensive field goal percentage. Basically, they were just historically great defensive players. Team. They are the team that nobody wants to play against because even if they do, even you know they're very physical with their defense. You know maybe they do foul a little bit, but just I think again, just honestly I think that's how you win. Like you gotta, I think their philosophy is just like play fucking defense as hard as you can and test the limit as to what kind of fouls you can get away with. I think that's what it is, to be honest. I think that's why they're so good defensively. But again, like everybody complains about it, so I feel like it's not something that's like, you know, as a fan of the sport and as a fan of other teams, I don't think that's crazy to say. But again, like they're very physical on defense, right? But again, like even without being physical on defense, I think they're all really good on defense too. Again, none of you can't switch on any of the players because they're all good defensively. They're all have great wingspans. They're all very big bodied. They all are very agile, high motors, right? They're all players who are very hard to score on because they're big, they're lanky, they're not heavy, but they're strong, right? It's hard to score in that defense with or without them fouling because they're just all great defensively. But again, defense will never be the issue with that team. The team pretty much stays the same. They just re-signed their guys, but they also re-signed some other players too. They have one player coming. They have two players coming back who they're kind of interested in, who I think are going to be. There's one that I think is going to be a difference changer, which is AJ Mitchell. I think he's going to be very, very good. He's going to add some very great playmaking that's very much needed. For overall team offense, not just SGA being the greatest, one of the greatest scorers we've seen in the league. Um, yeah, I think he's gonna be really fucking good, and I think he's gonna be amazing. Um, Again, obviously he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be really good for the team. They signed him to like a very good contract, a kind of seal contract, which is again, I mean that's what you want. Like you know, you want to win, you want to win, you want to keep on winning, you want a dynasty. That's what you want. And so yeah, I think he's gonna be really really good for that team playmaking. I know they have kind of some stock in Nikola Topic. I don't think he's gonna be that good. Honestly, I don't think he's gonna be that good. I don't have that much faith in him. I think he could be good. I think he could be like a decent kind of guy, decent kind of player, but I don't think he's gonna be good to be honest. I don't got that much faith in him. But he could prove me wrong. He could prove me wrong. You never know. Usman Dang looked good in the preseason, which is kind of like, you know, like if Usman Dang ends up being good, I hope they drug test him because he was fucking dog shit last year. So I'm hoping, like, unless this dude ended up gaining the confidence of Anthony fucking Edwards somehow, that you know that preseason shit is fake. Because if that isn't fake, then they're fucking two-peating for sure. Because again, you know, the 3-point shooting is what they lacked a lot in the playoffs, and Usman Deng is a good shooter. And you know, again, obviously one player is not fixed for shooting, but they also again have AJ Mitchell. Shea seems to be pulling up from the three a lot more. The first preseason game, he looked fucking crazy. I'm not gonna lie. The first preseason game, he looked like fucking like Chris Paul out there, dude. Like he was dishing some craziest. This is that something that's gonna continue? I hope not, because if that is something that continues, then he fucking got it. He got it, bro. But yeah, obviously again they can 2P 100%. The only other thing I want to talk about with the team is J-Dub injury is still ongoing, so he probably won't be on for opening night. I don't know when he's coming back, honestly. I don't think they really gave a date. So I mean that is a thing to look for. That is a thing to look at for sure. But again, I think they're still gonna be pretty good regardless. Last team again on the Nuggets, they removed MPJ. They brought in a high IQ wing with Cam Johnson and a scoring microwave with Hardaway Jr. They also now have obviously a backup of Jonas. I think that team made every change they needed to make to become better, and I think they will be a lot better. And I think honestly, an underrated out of all three of those pickups, I do think honestly Hardaway Jr. is the most underrated one. I know they added Bruce Brown as well, but I think Tim Hardaway Jr. being a scoring microwave off the bench is what you want. You don't want, like, again, a lot of the time in the playoffs it was Jokic scoring only. Obviously, again, I think that team needed 3-point shooting overall to be better, and I think 3-point shooting is what would have made that team a lot better and kind of allow them to beat OKC. But again, MPJ was injured, so he could not shoot the ball like he wanted to. Aaron Gordon was injured as well come game 7. Jamal Murray was not that consistent. But I think, again, a microwave like Hardaway Jr., where it's like that dude can just go on a flamethrower, just, you know, 3 after 3 after 3. You know, like that's the guy that can, especially if you have next to Jokic, is going to be insane, kind of like a tide changer kind of thing, right? So again, I think he's honestly the most underrated pickup out of all of them. But again, obviously Jonas is gonna be really good too. I think Jonas, the physicality that he offers, he's gonna be. I think people. It was very interesting too because I saw OKC fans kind of like, oh, Cam Johnson would be a lateral move with MPJ, and it's crazy and it's kind of ironic and hypocritical because they were like, oh, if we had Cam Johnson, like that'd be fucking great for us. You know what I mean? So I think it's really just OKC fans being weird, but yeah, I think like again they made all the necessary changes they needed to make. They I think leveled up a lot, and I think again like I think they could win it this year. Honestly, Again, I think OKC has a higher chance, but Denver, they look good. They look good, and I think they're gonna be. Again, I think Tim Hardaway Jr. in my opinion is a pick from that kind of like the off season that they that's gonna like pop out the most in my opinion. But yes, that is it for today's episode. Those are my predictions. Season starts in 2 days. Cannot fucking wait. I can't wait. Hopefully John plays. I've not been able to see my GOAT play in a minute. Not gonna lie, my happiness depends on that. Honestly, I gotta see him play. Not gonna lie. I'll go see him play in it. But yeah, I don't want to extend this more longer than I need to because the episode's already long as fuck. But yes, if you guys agree, disagree, have comments on my predictions, please comment them. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on that. But again, that's it for today's episode. If you liked it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.